At Sarah, Sweet Home Alabama. No! None of that. Shame on you. Welcome to Retrospective, the series where I look back at my old champion analysis videos and respond to the comments. This video will be focusing on my Trish's identity video. Hopebringer. I think one of her best moments was when V opened up to her and she just went, "I'm not your mommy." How many times must she have said this to Dante? How many times has she questioned if Dante actually cared about her, or just wanted her around because it was the closest thing he'd get to Eva? I didn't think about that. It makes sense that V opens up to the spitting image of his mother. It might be speculation that she has said the same to Dante, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. The thing is, Dante is more emotionally intelligent than we may give him credit for. Sure, there's the whole dead weight fiasco with Nero, but for the most part, Dante tends to be able to pick up on how people are feeling inside, and reacts the way he thinks is necessary for them. We see it with Lady in Devil May Cry 3 and with Nero in Devil May Cry 4. So I think Dante would be more aware of Trish's emotional needs, but he's still human. I can see how he would maybe slip up at one point and project the image of his mother onto her. Man, we need more Trish and Dante interactions. Wandering Node. Her character will continue unexplored nor developed because Capcom are not good at storytelling, and they obviously don't care about her. They make her out to be eye candy, but not so much in 5 in my opinion. I wish they would make a DMC side story starring Trish along with Lady and maybe Lucia, but people will complain and call it feminist agenda crapfest, and surely Capcom would try to make it whimsical, sexy, and cringe AF, not hardcore and badass. If they handed it over to Platinum Games, it would be badass. I'm not sure about commenting on Capcom's storytelling as a whole, but with regards to Devil May Cry specifically, I think it's just that the developers have very interesting concepts for a story and design the game around those concepts. So characters are fleshed out with the purpose of complementing the explosive combat. A formula I think works well for a video game. It's not like The Last of Us that feels like they made the story first and then designed the gameplay around it. So I can understand why more complex storytelling takes a backseat for Devil May Cry. They definitely have the creativity to make interesting characters to keep us hooked. I also would like to see a side story starring the women of Devil May Cry. Bayonetta proved that you can create female characters to be sexy and hardcore. However, I never got the impression that Lady tries to be sexy. I mean, I understand I'm speaking about female representation from the perspective of a straight male, but just hear me out. Lady gave off a more hardcore vibe than Trish. So her design in 4 seemed more like intentional fan service. Like, hey, let's make her sexy too because she's a woman and we have a high male audience. Which is why I love her design in 5. This design definitely fits her badass description of the walking arsenal. The point I'm trying to make is that even though we should accept a badass woman taking control of her sexual expression as empowering, we don't need every woman character to be overtly sexy. Bayonetta and Trish are similar in that they control their sexual expression. Their characters are written as them choosing to be overtly sexy, and that is okay because it's okay for any woman to do that. But Lady never gave off that vibe in the 3rd game, and that is also okay. She doesn't need to be overtly sexy. At that point, it just comes off as forced in fan service, which is the opposite of progress in representation. And I'm glad the design team took notice when changing her design for 5. So maybe there's hope that if they did do a side story, they wouldn't try to make it so sexy to the point of cringe. Ben Zen. Personally, I just think Dante sees her as a sister. Only makes sense given the resemblance to his mother and by proxy him. That's cute. Like, that's really cute to think about. Especially since he didn't have a brother anymore when he met her. Coblam Moration. Thank you. Trish has been the most underutilized character in this franchise for so damn long for all the reasons you've stated, and I've wanted more of Trish's development since the series started. Capcom is no stranger to female characters, so why they shy away from her so much has boggled me for years. Yeah, I think Capcom has focused enough on the Sparta bloodline. I feel like Devil May Cry 5 wrapped up their stories pretty nicely, so if there was ever a time to focus on the more underrepresented characters, it is now. Lady and Trish are left as a duo at the end of the game, so it's not like there isn't potential for more with how they left off every character. Crimson Flame. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. I'll be back with an edit for this comment once I'm done watching it. Okay, before I continue, I just love that you did this. I love how you commented first and then took the time to like come back to your comment and comment again. Like, I don't know, I just find that cool. I don't know why. It's not particularly impressive, but like, oh, now, okay, I don't mean to insult you now by saying that. Okay, let's just continue. Edit. Glad to see someone seeing untapped potential in Trish's story. I actually did read a fan comic, a lengthy one at that, at some point did have Trish explain how she began exploring the kind of person she'd want to be while still working with Dante, such as being his closest confidant or even a mother figure, which she frankly hated, before going off on her own and doing exactly what you just described. I know it's only a fan comic, and thus not official, but I also do believe that it is the most logical course of action Trish could have taken at that moment. Also, that untapped potential is part of why I was a little miffed at her and Lady being severely underused in Devil May Cry 5. Hope to see videos of the other DMC ladies soon. I totally believe that fans can create their own works of art that do the original justice. Fan creations are more than just cringy shipping art, yo. I'm honestly glad to see there's a demand for more from Trish within the fan base. Really shows how inclusive we are, you know? You know, cause we want to see these badass women be the focus of the story for once. Dark Corvus. Well, if I was Dante, I would feel very uncomfortable with a sexy clone of my mother around me. Sweet home!
You need to be stopped!
I'm gonna say this next one in Spanish and in English because I don't know which language you were using. Savio Callado, or Savio Calado. Honestly, go with the Spanish one, man. I always thought of Trish's abrupt change in personality after the first game to be due to the developers not being sure on what to do with her, or just changing their mind about how the character should be, as a retconning of sorts. But I like your take on this, as it makes it seem way more organic, her changing after this long time trying to discover herself. I had never thought of this. Nice video. I'm glad you brought up the whole retconning thing because I thought the same thing. This made brainstorming a video topic on Trish difficult because there wasn't much there. Then I checked out the anime and I saw that she was no longer with Dante and I just ran with that singular fact. My video on Trish is one that required the most creativity because there wasn't something super defining about her that would have offered enough for a discussion, like Virgil's obsession with power. I had to take that small detail from the anime and expand onto it to make something I felt was believable and worthwhile. So go watch the video again. Black Samurai. Anyone else think that they should remake DMC 1? It would be a good way to explore things hinted at with Dante, Trish, the townspeople. You could use elements of the novel, flesh out Mundus and Nilo Angelo a bit more, maybe bring in Enzo from the manga of DMC 3, also flesh out Eva as well, as her voice is heard in Dante's mind twice. First when he defeats Nilo Angelo, Virgil, Dante, happy birthday, and again encouraging Dante before Trish comes in to give him a power boost. Dante, it's going to be okay, you can do it. As hammy as most of DMC 1 is, that is to say nothing of how spooky the island can be, hearing Eva's encouragement was very sweet. I have been advocating for this in the comments since my first Devil May Cry video. A full remake of DMC 1 would be incredible. To this day, it still has my favorite overworld out of the whole series. The horror theme aesthetic of Malay Island would look amazing in current generation engines. I mean, they returned to the castle setting with Devil May Cry 4, but there wasn't anything spooky, man. I want to see DMC 1 go full on horror with their setting while keeping the gameplay from 5. I want Resident Evil 2 remake level of spooky atmosphere. That would be such an incredible experience, man. It would really elevate how badass you'd feel as the player controlling Dante, diving right into the horrifying world, knowing full well you got the means to handle whatever lies ahead. I love how this comment was talking about a remake being able to give the opportunity to fully explore characters like Trish more, but all I could talk about was the spooky environment. I just love horror, man. And that is it for this week's retrospective. I hope you enjoyed seeing what our community had to say about the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, my people, thank you for watching.